The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past was a defining moment for the Zelda series, establishing the formula that would follow for the next 2 decades. So, after Nintendo remade the original Zelda game for the Satellaview, it was only natural for them to look at A Link to the Past as well. So, 6 years after the original game was released, BS The Legend of Zelda: Ancient Stone Tablets came to the Super Famicom. The game was explicitly a sequel to the original Link to the Past, taking place 6 years after Link defeated the Demon King Ganon and restored peace to the world. However, in that time, Link had disappeared, and evil was not yet done with Hyrule. Recently, the princess had been having prophetic dreams. Dreams of darkness, a black shadow overtaking the temples of Hyrule. But, with their hero across the sea, who would be able to save Hyrule? Sahasrahla, the elder of Kakariko village, left to track down their hero, but to no avail. Then, one day, a bright light fell from the sky, holding a new hope for Hyrule. A youth, clad in strange clothing, unconscious yet miraculously unharmed, laying on the ground outside the Eastern Temple. The youth, this new hero, was cared for by Zelda, as well as Agana, Sahasrahla's younger brother. The princess suspected that this youth was actually the Hero of Light, a hero that we've seen before. The Hero of Light was the protagonist of BS The Legend of Zelda, and if you want more information on that game, then I suggest checking out my video on it. But the hero of that game was not a native of the land of Hyrule, nor were they a reincarnation of the hero's spirit, as many other heroes have been to this point. This youth instead came from another world, from the town whose name had been stolen, a sort of in-between universe that serves as the user interface for the broadcast Satellaview system. This town deserves its own video sometime in the future, but for now, I think that's all that you need to know to understand this game. It's also worth noting this hero can be either male or female, and they don't have any canonical name because they're more of an avatar for the player rather than any kind of actual character. All that said, I have to wonder how Zelda knew who the Hero of Light was. While this wasn't our first time exploring Hyrule as the Hero of Light, A Link to the Past is a prequel to the original Zelda game, so the youth's other arrival in this timeline wouldn't occur for centuries. I guess we just have to chalk it up to the gift of prophecy, which is something that is absolutely abound in Hyrule. However, this time, the hero's arrival was under very different circumstances. The first time that the Hero of Light was summoned to Hyrule, they were summoned by the power of the stars, guiding the hero to save Hyrule. This time, however, the Hero of Light was summoned by a much darker force, Ganon himself. 6 years ago, Link had in fact killed the Demon King Ganon, but he had only slain the fiend's body. His soul remained, trapped within the Dark Realm. Hoping to resurrect himself, Ganon summoned the Hero of Light, whom he knew would be granted power by Hyrule itself. He hoped to lure the youth into his realm so he could slay them and take their power for himself, giving him control over not only the Dark Realm, but all of Hyrule. This actually explains an inconsistency between the two Satellaview games. In the original BS Zelda, the hero was portrayed as leaving Hyrule regularly, staying in their own world except for 1 hour a week, when they would be summoned to Hyrule. In contrast to that, on this trip, the hero explicitly did not leave Hyrule, and the break between weeks is described only as the hero sleeping for the night. This is likely because, while the stars had been guiding the hero to protect Hyrule, Ganon was instead trapping them there, so they could serve his purpose. You can surmise from all of this that the game then takes place over the course of only 4 days. The survival of Ganon's soul may actually explain why the Ganon summoned in the ending to the Oracle duology was mindless. Ganon's essence had not yet made it to the afterlife, so there was nothing for the Witch Sisters to summon. With the Hero of Light now safely within Hyrule, Ganon made his move, sending his monsters forth from Hyrule's 8 temples, forcing the youth to action. Agana entrusted the youth with Sahasrahla's old equipment, and sent them to the Eastern Temple to retrieve a sword and shield. Within that temple, however, they found not only weapons and monsters, but also a mysterious slab, an ancient stone tablet, written in a language indecipherable to modern Hyruleans without the aid of the Book of Mudora, an ancient tome previously used by the missing hero. Recovering the book from Link's abandoned home, Zelda was able to decipher the tablets, which pointed them to the silver arrows, the only weapon capable of killing Ganon, hidden away high atop Death Mountain. Zelda also sent the youth to retrieve the Master Sword from the Lost Woods, where Link had left it after his own adventure. Now, the Master Sword can't be wielded by just anyone. However, given that the Hero of Light was granted the quote-unquote power of Hyrule, I figured that this power would include the right to wield the Master Sword. Interestingly, to wield the sword, you do need a certain amount of heart containers, reflecting the strength necessary to draw the Master Sword in the Wild era games. At the mountain's peak, Zelda sensed Ganon's power, as the portal to the Dark Realm opened in front of her. The youth enter the portal, beginning battle with the Demon King. This battle was meant as a trap for the Hero of Light, leaving them in a battle they couldn't hope to win without the silver arrows. However, thanks to Zelda's help, the youth had managed to retrieve them, and put the Demon King down for good. With Ganon's soul finally felled, the power binding the Hero of Light to Hyrule was severed, leaving the hero to return to their own world. It's unclear whether this game or BS Legend of Zelda occurs first for the Hero of Light, but that doesn't matter too much for our timeline, as this game is explicitly placed 6 years after A Link to the Past. This brings up the question of where exactly this game takes place in comparison to Link's Awakening. As usual, the Q Command have a lot to say, but one line in particular is rather interesting. They say that the hero, Link, is trapped within a dream. I don't know how they know this, but it is a fairly definitive statement that places this game is taking place at the same time as Link's Awakening. So what do you think? Does this game fit on the regular Zelda timeline? Or do you think that it breaks the canon of the series too much? Let me know in the comments. And with that, I'm going to let you all go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.